everyone. I'm Alice McGrath. I'm a digital scholarship specialist here at Bryn Mawr, but I'm actually going to be talking about a project I did at UPenn, which is where I was before that. So this is just a kind of digital project that I did with working with students in a kind of fellowship model and teaching them some of the skills, but I also think it would work potentially as a classroom project if it were kind of supported throughout the semester. Okay, so the project is called End Epistolary Editions, and so it's kind of working with the Early Novels Database project team, which is a DH project that's a collaboration between Swarthmore and Penn. But as part of the work that we were doing, we got to get involved in the curation of a digitization initiative that Penn Libraries was doing of 18th century novels. So we had these beautiful digital images, but we were thinking, wouldn't it be great if we had, first of all, some text that people could use for text mining, but then also text that people could use for reading, right? Like reading editions of some of these novels that had never been digitized before. So, and it's also like a fun kind of learning project to do this. So what we did was we used GitHub Pages and Ed, which is a Jekyll theme designed for with minimal computing principles. And it's pretty easy to use. There's a slight bit of a learning curve for running GitHub, for creating GitHub Pages sites, but it's very lightweight. And actually the encoding that the students were doing was also very simple and pretty easy to learn. They had project experience with the Digital Humanities project, but they didn't have actual coding experience prior to this, they didn't have actual web development experience. And one of the really cool things about it, it's designed to be accessible, lightweight, but it also has integration with Hypothesis, so you can use social annotation this way, which is why I think it would be great for creating teaching editions, other kinds of OERs. That's sort of what it's designed for. Okay, so what the students did, they were involved with choosing novels from the collection that had not been, from the set of novels that were being digitized that they wanted to create text for. They were involved with OCRing the images using optical character recognition to get texts. They were also involved with correcting the OCR generated text and formatting it using Markdown, Cramdown, YAML, and some HTML. So that sounds like a lot, but most of it was very lightweight. Like you can see there, the half of the screen. That's actually what Markdown syntax looks like. It's designed to not be as complicated. It's designed to be much more human readable and simple than HTML. And then they also were involved in using GitHub to kind of manage their collaboration and do version control. And this was not without its challenges, but they figured it out. Together we figured it out. Okay, so, and this is an example of what it looks like. And here's the the formatting of the original, a page image of the novel itself, and then what the digital edition looks like. And so you can see that one of the cool things about epistolary novels, so that is novels and letters, is that they're kind of formatting intensive, but they have this idea of communication that's built into the literary form. So I found that was productive to talk about with the students. Some of the learning goals that we had were kind of getting them to think about project management, workflows for versioning and collaboration, digital publishing experience, like getting some of those skills, thinking about open educational resources in general, and also thinking about what is a public domain text, right? These were published in the 1770s, they're not in copyright, and how creating reading versions of some of these texts might make them more broadly accessible, including accessible to people with disabilities as well. And so as far as the kind of curricular content, I also wanted to get them to think more about kind of books as data. So there are various iterations of books that they were dealing with as part of this project. So they were reading and describing the physical material of books, or the material aspects of rare books. They were looking at how computers read images, right? Like how optical character recognition works, how that kind of, like what it misreads and misrecognizes. The idea behind creating the corpus was that they would be designed for quantitative text analysis, text mining projects, and also, once they do the markup, how that gets read by browsers to display the website. And so the kind of next steps for this project, I think, would be to kind of test it out in a classroom situation, either by assigning the editions themselves or actually by getting students involved in research and writing some of the framing material for these editions. Because right now we have 4 texts up and they are public, but there's not a lot of contextual material. And so thanks so much. That's basically it. This is some of the background for the project, which was made possible by like a series of other digital projects. So I wanted to kind of like allude to that. Great, so thank you.